Many contractors right now are saying, I can't sell work. It's too hard to sell work. Lumber's too high. The prices of materials are too high. Today on Contractor Fight TV, I'm going to share with you how you can succeed in selling your projects even when the lumber gods aren't helping you too much. Let's go. All right, so in the opening I said that a lot of you guys, because I'm hearing from y'all, are struggling selling your work because of what's happening in the whole lumber and materials pricing world right now. And I know it's a challenge, I know it's tough. I know in many cases it's 30, 50, 100 times more, depending on what you're buying and where you're buying it, than it was last year. Okay, guys, those are the conditions that you have been dealt. And it's important right out of the gate here that you learn and make sure that you're controlling what you have control over. You don't have control over that shit. So quit your bitching, number one. All right, that's first point I want to make here today. How are you going to hit your sales goals? How are you going to feed La Familia? How are you going to pay the tax man and the payments and the overhead and your salary and buy shoes for mama and all that other shit when material prices are working against you, guys? The first step, vanguard with prospects. It is a technique where you're basically setting the expectations for how shit's going. You're going to be super upfront with people right out of the gate. Somebody calls you up, they want a new deck. In your pre-qualification process that hopefully you have, where you're having a conversation with people about their motive and what things could cost and this and that, vanguarding might sound like this. Hey, Tom, I'm really excited that we're talking about your deck, but I just want to be totally upfront with you here. Lumber prices are way out of control right now. The whole supply and demand thing, it is what it is. All right? And so I just want you to know that our prices are going to be higher than they were a year ago. All right? In fact, a deck that we're talking about here, lumber for this deck last year might have been 12 grand. This year it's 18 grand. It just is what it is. Okay? It doesn't matter who buys it. Guys, set the expectation that it's going to be more money right out of the gate. And you got to own this, because what I mean by set this expectation and vanguard this and get out in front of it, this is not your fault. The fact that fucking lumber prices are what they are what they are. You don't control the circumstances. It's not your fault. And I'll tell you what, nor is it you, because I'm seeing this, nor is it you that need to absorb the price increase. Okay? Listen, if you gave somebody a bid 8 months ago and now they're calling you, you call a fucking timeout and go, hey, price has gone up. Don't you dare eat this. Don't you dare steal from your family because of the circumstances that are going on around you. I'm telling you right now, get out in front of this, own the shit. It ain't my fault. It is what it is. I have no control over what I buy a fucking 2x4 for. 2x4. Sounds funny. Nor do you need to absorb it. The customer is paying for the fucking increase, not you. You can tell I'm fired up by this because I'm having dozens of conversations over the last month with guys. They're going, I don't know how to approach this. Lumber's so high. You know how you approach it? It fucking costs more. Second thing, if you want to sell your projects despite what materials are costing you, guys, you have to lead with confidence. I can't underestimate this, or whatever, under-explain it, whatever the damn word I'm looking for is. There are no apologies needed. Do you understand that? Lead with confidence. There are no apologies needed here. They can either do the job or not do the job, because it costs what it costs. When the prices of shit go up, raw materials and stuff like that, and shipping or whatever it is, and those materials get to manufacturers, and manufacturers get those things to your vendors. Do you realize everybody's paying more? And your vendor, they are passing those price increases on to you. It's not rocket science. You need to do the same to your customer with confidence. So many of you are struggling to sell right now because you're being a bunch of babies about this increase stuff. And you're making the price increase your problem, and it's not your problem. It's the customer's problem. If I decided right now, today, to build a deck, and a contractor came over and gave me the price, I don't care what it is, because it is what it is. Shit costs what it costs. Okay? So it's up to me as the consumer to decide if I want to spend that much money or if I want to wait a year or two until fucking prices go down and then build it then. Okay? But you guys are not confident in your pricing, and it's fucking with your mojo. Because you're approaching your sales calls, your sales conversations. You're working your sales process from a point of fear and wussiness instead of fucking confidence and owning this shit. Yeah, it is what it is. Shit costs what it costs. What do you want to do? Okay, we talked about Vanguard, set those expectations. We talked about leading with confidence. All right, and I'm going to flip. This was my last point. This is my next point. Guys, you got to market more. Okay? And the reason I'm putting this right after leading with confidence, a lot of you are not confident in selling the shit that costs what it costs because you don't have enough damn leads. Because if you've been listening to this guy for any amount of time and haven't started taking your marketing seriously, then this shit's on you. All right? If your phone ain't ringing with qualified prospects, if you're not building your brand, if you're not investing in that, and then you don't have a lot of leads, and then you have these sales opportunities, and now you're all like, oh, please buy from me. I'm happy to absorb the price increase because I need the job. You like my accent there? I don't even know what country that was from, but it is. Guys, people still want what they want, and they will spend money for it, so market your ass off. I don't have any money to market. You have a fucking cell phone. You have a computer that you walk around with a movie studio. Start using that shit. Guys, more qualified leads equals easier to sell. That's how shit works, okay? Vanguard, lead with confidence. Market your ass off so that when those people that don't understand that you're not at fault for the lumber price increases on shit, okay? They could go fuck off and hire somebody who can go out of business, get pricing it for whatever they want to price it at. Okay? Not your problem. All right, final thing I want to talk about here. This is probably going to confuse some of you because I love you guys. Please understand I love you. All the love in my heart is going towards you right now. See, what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to soften you up for what I'm about to say. This next one might be a little confusing to most of you, and I say most because about 85 to 90% of the people that watch these videos, watch this channel, are still fucking confused on the math of their business and what gross profit is and how to figure it out. Okay? So let me just say that. Most of you watching this, I hope I'm wrong, but most of you watching this are going to scratch your head and go, huh? Strategy here, guys. This is a powerful strategy. I've used this in the past when I needed to be tighter on bids and things like that. And that is hit your break-even gross profit point for your business and your profit points. Hit your profit is what I'm saying. On labor only. So what I mean by that is this. This is really easy. Price your labor to recover all of your overhead and your net profit so you don't really have to mark up materials if you didn't want to. Okay, I had several large projects in the past where if you take our normal, simple, easy way to get a 50% gross profit that we teach here, figure out what the job's going to cost you, $1,000 for labor, $2,000 for material, 1 plus 2,000 is 3,000. Times 2, sell the job at least $6,000. Okay, that's the most simple way I can explain how to price your work for a 50% gross profit. Here's the problem though. When prices are out the ass, not in a good way, okay? It could be pretty tough. I will acknowledge this. To say, yeah, I'm buying lumber for 12 grand on the deck and you're telling me to charge 24 grand for the labor time, you're high. I'm not saying it can't be done because I have clients that actually do it. But for those of you that are looking for a different way, you could simply make sure that your labor price for your guys in the field to pay them and their burden and all your overhead and your net profit is just in your labor number. So that way, when you're selling to a prospect and you go, hey, listen, material prices are what they are. The material on your deck is going to be $12,000. It just is what it is. I'm not marking it up. You can actually do this. What I do is I add a $500 fee for us to fuck with the material and getting it and handling it and all that other shit, because then it becomes our problem. Okay? So you could just charge a $500 or $1,000 fee, whatever the hell you want to do. And this is what I did in the past on several large projects where I knew doubling material would put me over the edge. Took the receipt for the materials and I handed it to the customer. And I had great relationships with my vendors. They put a hold ticket on it because we had a history of fucking being a good company to work with. And then the customer would pick up the phone and they'd call and they'd go, yeah, I got invoiced blah, blah, blah with Tom, this and that. I want to pay it. And they'll either swipe a credit card or they'll drive their ass down there and write a check for it. And that material expense never goes out of your business, nor does the income for it ever come through your business. So you're generally just working with your labor numbers, which if you have downloaded our how to know what to charge per hour sheet that you can find in the description here, okay, you would know how much you need to charge to be able to pay your bills. All right? So don't let it scare you. Materials, you could not mark up at all. You could do a tiny markup. And so what I mean by this is, and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here for you guys, but basically, if a guy costs me $30 an hour, I don't charge $60 for him. Okay, that would be a 50% gross profit for those of you that are not sure. I'm charging $90 to $100 a man hour for that guy who makes 30. So that, say it's 100 minus his 30 plus burden, call it 40. I got $60 left. That's $60 of gross profit per man hour. What's that, a 60%? Okay, I actually used to price it to make at least a 67 to a 70% on labor and less on materials. That was just how I did things. Okay, but guys, that's what it sounds like. That's what it would look like. So take the time to make sure you're recouping all of your overhead and your net profit and all that stuff in your hourly rate. Now, side note to this, I'm not saying go out and tell people I'm charging you $100 an hour. Okay. What I'm saying is if you look at a project like our deck and you go, it's going to be 80 man hours, okay, 2 guys for a full week, whatever it is, I don't give a shit what it is. It would be 80 times 100 and I'd charge $8,000 for labor. That's what I mean by knowing what to do. Now, then it's your job and your foreman's job to bring the job in on time, on budget, and all that other shit. The materials are what they are because you're just handing Mr. Homeowner the receipt. Okay, that's another strategy. So guys, as we get out of here today, stop making lumber prices and material prices increases and all that shit. Stop making it your problem. It's not your problem. All right? It just simply is what it is. Get the math right. Learn to sell, problem solved, game over. You're moving on. You're kicking ass. You're making money. Super appreciate you hanging out with us here today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with another contractor that you know could benefit from it. I appreciate you. You guys rock. I got to roll.